In this C# exercise, I'll be showing you how to compute for the area of the following geometric shapes. We have here circle, triangle, rectangle, and square. So as you've noticed, I've already opened my uh, Visual Studio, and this time I'll be using the terminal or the console application to do this particular activity or exercise. So if I were to do it all over again, we can click File, New, then Project. Then we have the new project. The new project panel will appear. Then we have here Windows Desktop. Then we have here Console App. Okay, you can select actually Console App. So as you've noticed, I didn't select Windows Form app because we won't be doing this one in Windows Form. Instead, what I'll be doing is I'm going to do this one in Console App. So just try to select Console App. Okay. So the default file name is console app 1, so you can specify whatever file name you wanted to use. So in my case, I chose area calculator because I wanted to remember it easily. Okay, so let's try to start coding now. Let me just try to increase the font size so that it will be easier for you to see the code. Okay. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to initialize first our option. So set to create a value called option, then we have our string that. Okay. So this particular line will serve as our navigation. So every time we try to select a shape, we will be next is we'll create our navigation. So while option is not equals to, okay, let's try to use XX. So if the user presses XX, it will be terminated. Otherwise, it will just continuously loop through our application. Next thing that we need to do is we are going to create, or we're going to clear our consoles. Console.clear. Okay, let's try this time to select. Let's try this time to do the options of our application. So console. That right line. Now, there's two options that we can use. We can use either console.write or console.write line. Since we basically wanted it to be on a new line, every time we try to do a line, an option. So we're going to use right line. Okay, so let's try to add this one. Okay, then we have here also console that right line again. Okay, so to add a title area calculator. So to look up and paste. Circle for 2. Let's try to select triangle for 3. Rectangle for 4. Square, and let's try to add also the last option. Try to give the instructions that if you want to press XX, the application will be terminated. Type XX to exit. Okay. Next is to try to close our simple navigation. Okay. Let's also try to create a prompt for our application console that right. We're still going to do this time we're going to do console that right. To put a little bit of space. Then if your option equals to console that read. Okay. Okay, so let's try to run our application this time by clicking start. So Bash is currently up and running. I'm going to close. Okay, so we already have it here, area calculator. We have here 1, 2, 3, 4. Type XX2, exits. Okay, let's try this one out. Let's first try to press 1, then press enter. 2, 3, 4, then try to use XX, terminate. Okay, so we already have created our navigation. Okay, so we're done with our navigation. Let's try to do this time our functions or methods for calculation. So it's initially, since we the first option is circle. Okay, let's try to create a method for circle. So here void circle. So we won't be passing any variables, so we can just leave the parameters blank. Okay, then you have your console dot right line. Okay. Compute for area of circle. Okay. Console dot right line. Use console dot right. Let's try to ask for radius. We can do something like this one, so that it will be nicer. So what we basically wanted to do is we want to ask for area of, or we want to ask for the radius. Okay, let's try to close console dot right line. Okay, this time we are going to create a variable for our radius. So let's try to call this one as r. Int r is equals to, we need also to parse int 32.rs. Since basically we will be reading it via read line. Console dot read line. Okay, then double area double pi. Okay, what's pi, by the way? What's the purpose of pi? Pi is 3.14. I'm just going to leave it as is 3.14. So we have your area is equals to pi multiplied by r r. Okay. Then console that right line. Result is, let's just make it something like that. Result. Okay. Then if your area, then if your console that read. Okay, let's try this one out. Let's try this capital letter. It doesn't matter, by the way, if we're going to make it small letter or capital letter. So in my case, I'm gonna make it capital letter. Okay, so let's try this time. Okay, let's try to combine it with our navigation already. So the first thing that we also need to do is we need to instantiate our class. Okay, so we have here var I, or let's try to call it var c, var area is equals to console, no, equals to new program. Okay, we'll be using switch option. Okay, case 1, if ever the user presses 1, area dot circle will be selected. Break. Okay, let's try to run. Sorry, this is going to be quite annoying. Okay, so let's try to close. Now, let's try to run this particular application. Here, 1. Compute for area of circle. Okay, let's try to add for selecting for the radius. For radius, let's try to select maybe 10. Okay, the result is 314. So let's try to check if let's try to see if it's correct based on the formula. So pi times r times r. So we have here, what's the value that we entered? We have here 10. Let's try to calculate first. Calc. We have here 3.14. And times 10 equals 100 times 3.14. Okay, we have here 314. Result is 314. That's the area of our circle. So the result is correct. Okay. Then we can press enter. Okay, so let's try to close. Wait, let me just try to check it again. Maybe there's an error to it. 1, 10. So, okay, there's no error. Every time I try to press enter, it will be redirected back to our main navigation. Next is, let's try. Okay, so void. Let's try to copy this part. Actually, that's compute for area of triangle. So for triangle, we will be having two variables. First one is our base. Inside to close. We can just have it here B for base. Then next is going to have it here. After base, we have our height. Make it capital letter. Next. Base and height. Okay. Now, since I'm feeling lazy, what I can basically do is I can just have it something like this. So you have here area. We don't need to use pi because there's no need, because there's no need for the formula, or there's no need. We won't be using pi because it's not included in our formula. So here area. Okay, the formula for triangles area is we have here base times height divided by 2. Okay, so the result is area. Okay, let's try this time. Let's also try to add it on our navigation. Case 2 area dot triangle. And we have break. Okay. Let's try to finish first everything before we try to run. Next, okay, so we're down now with circle triangle. Okay, let's try to do this time void rectangle. For rectangle, we will also be having two variables. So what we can do is going to just copy here this one, where area of we also have here, instead of base and height, we're going to use length. Okay, change this one to L. Then we have here width. Okay, we have here width. Okay. Next, try to copy this part. Copy this part. Area is we have here length times width. Okay, result is area. Okay, then last we have void square. So we can actually again copy circle because we will only be needing one variable. So it's also very much same as for circle. So compute for area of square. So instead of radius, we'll be using side. S. Again, we won't be using pi, so we have here S and S. Okay, we can just delete this part. Okay, let's try to add this on our navigation. Case 3. Area dot rectangle break. Okay, for area dot square break. Okay, let's try to run this time our application. Just try to close. Okay, so we have here, let's try to select this time triangle. To compute for your area of triangle, we'll be asking only for base. Okay, we just try to check first. Triangle. Triangle. Okay, let me just try to check first. Area of triangle. Triangle. There seems to be an error on my triangle. It should be asking for base and height. Let me type. Okay, let's try to run it again. Let's try to run 1. Compute for ages 10, 14, and 32. Triangle base. Oh, okay, this is correct actually. So we have here area of triangle. We're asking for base. So 10. Then for the height, get 3. So that's 15 XX. Okay, I totally forgot something on my triangle. Okay, forgot this one. That's why I okay. Okay, for base 10, height, we have 5, 25. Then, okay, for 3, length 10, width 5, 20, then 4. Okay, for side, we have 5, 2, 4, XX. Let's just try to edit also our rectangle. Okay, let's try to run. Okay, so this is actually how to create a simple console application in C Sharp. I'll be posting this one, guys, on my GitHub page so that at least you can download it there and make some modifications if you want. So please don't hesitate to hit subscribe and like the bell button so that you'll be notified every time I try to upload a new video. Okay, so thank you very much and happy new year.